Daily Tech News with Alan Smithson.
Good morning and welcome to Daily Tech News. I'm Alan Smithson. Today is Friday, June 7th. And the first story we have is that China is leading the way with solar power. Let's check it out. China just opened the world's largest solar farm with 6.09 billion kilowatt hours of annual capacity. That's enough to power an entire small country for a year. And I think this is really, look at the size of it. Look at this. This is a solar farm. Absolutely wild. And you think about this, they're building this on the side of a mountain. You know, it covers 200,000 acres of land, but it's creating entirely new green renewable energy. And very excited for this. It says new 5 gigawatt solar power plant now is online. And so, I'm really excited for this because as we move towards a more green and sustainable world, we really have to focus on getting this right and the conversion from oil, gas, non-renewables that cause problems in the world with regards to CO2 and methane emissions and all these things. And green energy is the way forward. But if you look at the other side of the world, capitalists are actually alarmed that renewables keep making electricity temporarily free. Investors are wary of consumers getting a free ride. Now think about this. Because there's so much abundance of power, the capitalists are wondering or upset because people are getting it free here. And, on one hand, there's a boon for plenty of consumers, not to mention the environment, but businesses are starting to worry that these upside down economics could cause the demand for bigger and better renewable projects to taper off. Now, that is interesting because if people aren't able to make money off their investments, they're going to stop investing. Their negative pricing is going to slow down the deployment of renewable capacity for most players. Now, I think that's a very small-minded thing. If that's the case, then no problem. Why don't we just let governments do this as we did before? And governments can do this on behalf of their citizens, because if private corporations are not going to pay for this because there's a negative cost or a negative return, then governments should do this. So if you don't want to invest in solar, that's fine. But this is the way forward, so it's going to happen anyway. Okay, AI-backed robots roll through Seattle construction sites, speeding up the build process and improving safety. This is really interesting. There's actually robots that are on site right now. This is not a futuristic thing. This is a right now. They're rolling around these sites, and they're actually, check it out. It says here, a couple of high-tech workers are part of the crew to help construct a new residential tower in Seattle's Bellwood neighborhood. They roll through the place, take a bunch of pictures, upload everything to an AI platform, and in the process, speed up the project and improve safety along the way. Skanska, the project development and construction company with offices in Seattle, is using 2 autonomous robots from Boston-based Nextera Robotics as it helps build out K31, a 31-story apartment building. And this is interesting because they're using high-resolution 360-degree photography. And I think this is the future because robots can go around, they can go on a specific pattern, capture all these images, and then send it back to a central planning site where people can make better decisions and make sure that things are getting done on time, on budget, and safely. Okay, company that made its AI its chief executive officer sees a stock climb. China-based NetDragon WebSoft says it's the first company in the world to appoint an AI as its CEO. There was an article last week basically saying that the role of CEO would be easily replaced by AI. Now, I don't know that it would be easily replaced, but I do believe that overall, having an AI that is kind of leading a company might just be something interesting that could be super profitable. The AI-powered virtual humanoid robot has managed to outperform Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index in the last 6 months since it was appointed. The share price is up now 10%, with a company valuation over $1 billion. We believe AI is the future of corporate management, and our appointment of Ms. Tang Yu represents our commitment to truly embrace the use of AI to transform the way we operate our business and ultimately drive our future strategic growth. I think that's really neat. It's forward thinking, and the ability to have a CEO that's run by AI. What do you think of that? Let me know in the comments of the chat. I will put all the links of this in the chat in the comments of the YouTube video, so you can click it. You can read anything you want. Okay, over to Boeing Starliner just launched yesterday its first crewed space mission, and not crewed. Very awesome. I watched the launch yesterday. It was so exciting. It had been scrubbed 3 times before that. And it says here, 2 astronauts were sent into space today to begin the first crewed flight of Boeing Starliner spacecraft, making a shakedown cruise to the International Space Station and back after years of costly setbacks and 2 scrubbed countdowns. But it did launch, and here it is. Check it out. Let's get to it. Where is it here? Here we go. How cool is this? I love watching this. I went to watch one with Avril, and it was absolutely mind-blowing.
Houston, Starliner roll.
Yay. So cool. So glad to see that. Awesome. So what are we going to do on the moon? What are we going to do when we have space? Check this out. They're actually envisioning a train on the moon to move things around. It says the program proponents say this visionary endeavor heralds a new era of human presence and economic activity beyond the Earth. So pretty soon we're going to be able to mine asteroids, mine the moon, set up heavy manufacturing on the moon. It says here, according to an article in Economic Times, the U.S. Department of Defense has contracted with the aerospace company Northrop Grumman to build a lunar railway in preparation for a permanent human colony on the moon. We're going to live on the moon. That's cool. That's way more reasonable than living on Mars. Mars is a long way away. The visionary day, yeah, we talked about that. Perfect. The project dubbed Moon Train might sound silly, but the lunar surface is equivalent to the size of Africa, making railway infrastructure critical to the transport of materials and equipment needed to explore and colonize the moon. The contract, part of a 10-year lunar architecture capability study, covers research around the basics of developing a lunar rail network, including resources, construction using robots, inspection, maintenance, and repair. I think the cool thing about this is that by pushing the limits of this, we're actually going to develop new manufacturing techniques that we can be deployed here on Earth. And I think this is really cool. The stuff that we do to send rockets to space and send people to space really does impact our lives here, because we can use that technology here on Earth to make things better for us here. Now, what if you passed away and your last dying wish was to go to space and you never got to go? You can actually take your ashes and fire them off into space. In 2022, this gentleman died, and his wife left him with his wife with the cremated remains, and then apparently you can shoot him into space. Having your loved one's cremated remains launched into space doesn't come cheap, costing $3,500 to $13,000, which is incredible. But I mean, if that's your dying wish to get rocketed into space, then yeah, there you go. That's awesome. Amazing. Okay, so this is really interesting. This is, again, more green.
This waste juice pulp is being turned into snacks.
This juicing facility produces 100,000 gallons of juice per week.
And as a byproduct, it also produces millions of tons of pulp every year.
Instead of going to waste, this pulp is being rescued and turned into nutrient-dense and delicious snacks.
Juice pulp contains 95% of produce's fiber and is packed with nutrients, making it the perfect base for chips.
All of the remaining pulp is used for animal feed, making this a 99.8% zero-waste facility.
Wow, we need more of that. That's cool. I want to try those chips. Sounds super healthy. Okay, AI is helping radiologists detect more breast cancers with fewer false positives. This is a really, really great thing for humanity, for women around the world. Researchers at the University of Copenhagen in Denmark have shown that using commercially available AI systems can reduce the workload of radiologists by over 33% while improving the overall performance of breast cancer screenings. Mammography exams are routinely used for the early detection of breast cancer, so get checked out, which helps reduce mortality of the disease. However, these exams place a substantial workload on radiologists who must read a large number of mammograms, the majority of which don't warrant a recall of the patient. So I think the reduction of the workload using AI, I think we're going to see this across pretty much all diseases, because AI can be trained on, literally millions or billions of photographs, or, in this case, scans, MRI scans, and can make predictions, very, very accurate predictions. So very cool. What else can we do with this technology? New AI tool can help detect dementia up to 9 years before onset with high accuracy. This is getting crazy. Imagine knowing that you were going to have dementia, or you had a likelihood of dementia, and you could take actions. Predicting who's going to get dementia in the future will be vital for developing treatments that can prevent the irreversible loss of brain cells that causes symptoms of dementia. And I think this is really cool. We're just starting to see more and more and more of these techniques where we take humans, we add AI, and we get magic. I was wrong when I did a blog called AI versus humans. It should be AI plus humans. And I went all in on AI versus humans, but I really think now it's going to be AI plus humans. Okay, Honda just launched their first hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicle. So they have a hydrogen fuel cell, which it looks like that is really neat. I've never seen one of those before. But yeah, there's a hydrogen fuel cell, so you'll be able to just swap those out. And the only issue that I have with hydrogen is that we use a lot of power to create the hydrogen, and that power not necessarily comes from clean sources. So I think it's one of those things we got to figure out. But Honda envisions a battery electric fuel cell electric vehicles that would comprise 100% of its new vehicles by 2040. And they're making an $11 billion investment to bolster its EV supply chain. Very, very interesting stuff there. And yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, if you've ever been in the metaverse, or you've ever heard about the metaverse, there's a bunch of things, Decentraland, Sandbox, there's a bunch of these games. The Sandbox, which I literally just walked past their office last night in Los Angeles, they've reached 1,000 user-generated experiences within their world. And I think this is a super cool milestone, because it really shows that the metaverse, especially this kind of permanent, pervasive virtual worlds, are getting more and more users, more and more exciting. And so the fact that they have 1,000 user-generated experiences on their platform is absolutely wonderful. And congratulations. It says we now have 1,000 experiences live on the map. The takeaway for us is that it's like the creator economy in the metaverse is finally taking off. Sebastian Bourget. And he said, we have 5.7 million accounts created. I'm so proud of those guys. Great job. And yeah, while I'm in LA, maybe I'll stop in your office, because now I know where it is. Awesome. All right. NVIDIA is splitting their stock. We talked about yesterday how NVIDIA hit $3 trillion valuation market cap. And on Monday, they're going to do a 10-for-1 stock split. And let's figure out, let's listen to what that means for investors.
We're also watching shares of NVIDIA this morning, ticker symbol NVDA. The chip giant stock about to get a little bit more affordable. The company is set to complete its highly anticipated 10-for-1 stock split after the market closes today. Yahoo Finance's Jared Blickery here to track the moves ahead of the split. Hey, Jared.
Hey, Brad, this gives us the opportunity to do some fun math. Fortunately, it's pretty easy. If you're an NVIDIA shareholder and you hold one share, on Monday morning, you're going to have 10 shares. If you own 100, it'll be 1,000. But if you take a look at the share price right now, that's going to be lopped off by 1 0. So $1,209.98, that's going to become $120, actually $121, because you'd have to round it up. So the share price will be adjusted such that the total market capitalization should not be affected.
Okay, so basically what that means is if you have stock, you'll end up with 10, it'll be 10-to-1, and nothing really changes. It just lowers the price of the stock to $120 so that more people can invest in that. Okay, over to, look, there's another platform for making music using AI. I just typed in here, 70s funk track with sexy chill vibes, and generate music. Let's see what happens. So it's generating this music here. Oh, it looks like it's going to be this. So it might take a minute here. Oh, Funky Groove, it's got a name. Okay, let's see what happens here. It's the AI jukebox on Hugging Face. Oh, it's creating some artwork here. All right, this is real time. I didn't do this in advance, so we'll wait a couple seconds, because why not? I'll talk my way through this. But anyway, you have here, start making music with AI in the browser, text to music generation. You can put your prompt in here, or you can spin the dice. You can pick your electro dance, Afro beats, whatever it is. There's a whole bunch of genres: country, blues, disco, lo-fi, trap, chill. This is great. You can select a mood: happy, sad, angry. So I guess it'll end up setting it in key: dark, nostalgic, inspiring. and it looks like we're at 71%, so almost done. But I love the fact that I'm able to just type a prompt, and it said duration. I don't know why you'd want only a 10-second or 30-second song, but I guess it's very early days. But I picked 10 seconds, so let's see what happens. We got another 10% left in the production process here, but okay, what do we got? 95, 96. All right, I should have said hopeful. That would be fun. I'm hopeful this will work. All right, what do we got here? Generating. Oh, here we go. You ready? All right, well, it's not as good as Suno, and Suno does a full song, but pretty cool nonetheless. That has been Daily Tech News for the day. I will put all of these links into the comments of the YouTube video. Make sure you comment and share some things you've seen. If there's anything you want me to share, anything, make sure you comment on this. If you think I said something wrong, whatever, get in there. Let's have a conversation. So my name is Alan Smithson. This has been Daily Tech News, and I hope you have a wonderful day, everybody. Cheers.